Have you ever been insulted, ignored, or treated unfairly? That burning feeling in your chest, anger, shame, frustration. Why does disrespect hurt so much? The Stoics knew this pain 2,000 years ago, but they also discovered a powerful way to neutralize it. Today, you'll learn 3 Stoic rules to handle disrespect without losing your dignity. Whether it's a rude co-worker, a disrespectful family member, or an internet troll, these strategies will keep you unshaken. The first rule is simple. You can't control what others say, but you control how you respond. When insulted, most people react immediately, yelling, sulking, or seeking revenge. But Stoics practice the pause. Epictetus, a former slave, said, "If someone speaks badly of you, it's their problem, not yours, unless you believe it." Practical exercise. Next time someone disrespects you, wait 5 seconds before responding. Ask, "Is this worth my energy?" Example, a coworker mocks your idea. Instead of firing back, say, "I'll think about that," and walk away. Silence is power. Here's a story. When the philosopher Socrates was called ugly by an Athenian, he replied, "You're right, but can you name a flaw in my character?" He turned an insult into a lesson. Disrespect only wins if you let it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "How quickly notoriety fades. The world will forget insults, just as it forgets the people who said them." Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Exercise. Imagine looking down at Earth from space. Your problems and the person who disrespected you are tiny. This is called the view from above. Example, someone cuts you off in traffic. Instead of rage, think, they might be having a terrible day. Detach. Don't personalize. In ancient Rome, Cato the Younger was spat on in public. He wiped his face and said, "I will not let your bad manners change mine." That's the Stoic mindset. The Stoics didn't just tolerate disrespect, they used it. When a rival insulted the philosopher Zeno, he replied, "Thank you, you've given me material to improve myself." Action step, keep an insult journal. Write down every rude remark, then ask, "Is there truth here? Can I grow from this?" Example, if someone calls you lazy, use it as motivation to prove them wrong, without saying a word. Modern example, Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He used that disrespect to become the greatest. The obstacle became his way. Let's tackle common questions. What if it's constant bullying? Set boundaries, then ignore. Should I ever confront someone? Only if it's constructive. How do I stop feeling angry? Practice daily Stoic journaling. Remember, disrespect is a test of your discipline. When someone disrespects us, we often internalize it. We let their words become a mirror for our worth. But the Stoic path invites us to ask, is this really about me or about them? 2. The Stoic view on ego and external opinions. The Stoics saw ego as a trap. To chase approval is to become a slave to others. To fear disrespect is to give away your peace. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." They trained themselves to care only about their inner character, not public praise or ridicule. Imagine that. Being untouchable, not because you're hard, but because you're grounded. 3. Real-life examples from ancient and modern times. Epictetus, once mocked for his limp, laughed and said, "That's just my body. You can't touch my mind." Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, faced traitors in his own court and still chose patience over punishment. In modern times, think of Nelson Mandela, disrespected, imprisoned, but never bitter. He held his dignity even when the world tried to strip it away. True strength is calm in the storm. 4. Inner discipline versus reaction. Every time you respond with anger, you lose a piece of yourself. But when you pause, breathe, reflect. You choose your power. Seneca wrote, "Anger is like a collapsing house, ruinous to the one who harbors it." The Stoics practiced the art of the pause. When disrespected, they didn't act on impulse. They waited. They thought. Discipline is freedom. 5. The power of silence. Sometimes, silence is the most powerful response. To meet insults with stillness, not submission, but strength, is to deny others control over your mind. If someone does wrong, the harm is theirs, not yours. Marcus Aurelius. Silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. It says, "You don't own my peace." Differentiating between what you can control and what you can't. You can't control what someone says. You can control whether you take it personally. The Stoics separated the world into two realms. What is up to us, our thoughts, choices, actions. What is not up to us, others' words, fate, opinions. This is where freedom begins. 7. How to train your mind daily like a Stoic. Start your morning with reflection. What challenges might I face today? How will I respond with virtue? Rehearse insults in your mind, not to attract them, but to diffuse their power. Use negative visualization. What if I mocked today? How would a sage respond? Train your mind like a muscle, daily, patiently, powerfully. 8. Letting go of emotional triggers. Not every offense deserves a reaction. Your triggers are teachers. They reveal where your ego still clings. Practice noticing the first rise of emotion and letting it pass like a wave. Emotional alchemy turns pain into wisdom. 9. How Stoics saw honor and insult. Honor to a Stoic was not about others' recognition, but self-respect. Insults were seen as powerless, unless you agreed with them. Seneca said, "No man can be insulted without his own consent." Let others speak. Let them sneer. Your virtue is not on trial, only your composure. 10. Using journaling, negative visualization, and reason to build strength. Journaling. Reflect each night. Where was I tested? Did I respond with calm? Negative visualization. Imagine the worst, not to suffer early, but to prepare wisely. Reason. Challenge your thoughts. Is this disrespect truly harming me, or just my ego? The Stoic toolkit is ancient and timeless. Use it. The daily habits to handle disrespect like a Stoic. Morning reflection. Ask, who might offend me today? How will I stay grounded? Midday pause. Reconnect with your breath. Return to presence. Evening journaling. Review your reactions. Where did you rise? Where did you fall? Affirmations to say to yourself. I am not what they say. I am what I choose. Their actions belong to them. My peace belongs to me. Disrespect loses power when I don't carry it home. Mindset shifts. Disrespect is a test, not a verdict. Every insult is an opportunity to grow stronger. The person who insults you is often hurting themselves. Let that truth soften your heart, but sharpen your focus.
Foundations of Stoicism. The origins of Stoicism. Ancient Greece to Rome. Imagine standing in the Agora of Athens, more than 2,000 years ago. The marketplace is alive with energy. Philosophers argue under the shade of columns, merchants haggle with customers, and a man named Zeno of Citium walks among them, contemplating the nature of human suffering. It is here that Stoicism is born, not in a palace, nor in a temple, but in the hustle of everyday life. Zeno taught in the Stoa Poikile, a painted porch. From this humble setting, a profound philosophy emerged, one that would outlast empires. Stoicism isn't abstract theory. It's a practice, a way of living in harmony with nature and reason, regardless of the chaos around us. And from Zeno, the torch passed to Cleanthes, to Chrysippus, and eventually to Rome, where it flourished in the hands of statesmen, slaves, and emperors alike. 2. The Stoic Titans: Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius. Epictetus was born into slavery. Seneca served in the ruthless court of Nero. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire. These three men could not have come from more different walks of life, yet all were united by the same core truths. That virtue is the only true good, that we suffer more in imagination than in reality, that we are responsible for our thoughts, but not for others' opinions. They practiced what they preached, not with ease, but with dignity. Their lives were marked by trials, loss, betrayal, illness. Yet their responses, graceful, composed, immovable. 3. What makes Stoicism unique? Unlike other philosophies that ask you to believe in fate, dogma, or gods, Stoicism asks you to observe, to reflect, to see clearly. You are not disturbed by events, but by your judgment of them. No one can harm you unless you allow them to. Control is found within, never without. In the modern world, filled with noise, outrage, and instant gratification, Stoicism offers something radical: stillness. 4th core: Stoic concepts that apply to disrespect. Disrespect is one of the most common emotional triggers today, and yet Stoicism gives us tools to transform it into strength. Dichotomy of control. Is the insult in your control? If not, discard it. Indifference to externals. Status, praise, blame. They don't touch the soul. Discipline of assent. Just because someone said something doesn't mean you have to believe it. Virtue is the only good, not reputation, not revenge. Virtue. This is where our journey begins. We now descend into the depths of what disrespect truly is, and how, like a Stoic, we become not just immune to it, but strengthened by it. The anatomy of disrespect. 1. What is disrespect? A philosophical dissection. Disrespect is more than just a rude word or a dismissive glance. It's a perceived wound to our dignity, a denial of our worth. But in the Stoic view, it is not the action itself that wounds, it is our interpretation of it. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This is not a denial of injustice, it is a redirect, a shift in power. The Stoic does not let others dictate the state of their soul. To understand disrespect, we must break it down. The source. Who is disrespecting you? The context. Why now and in what setting? The impact. How do you interpret and respond? Disrespect, like a stone thrown into a pond, causes ripples only if the surface is disturbed. Stoicism aims to still the waters. 2. The psychology behind the need for respect. Modern psychology tells us we crave validation. We want to be seen, heard, acknowledged. But why? Because at our core, we fear insignificance, irrelevance. Disrespect triggers this primal fear. I don't matter. Yet the Stoics would say, of course you matter, but not for the reasons the world sells you. Not because of your title, your followers, your salary, or your image. You matter because you are a rational being capable of virtue. Respect that is externally sourced is always fragile. One insult can undo it, but respect that is self-earned, rooted in your values, that is indestructible. 3. Cultural and social constructs of disrespect. Across cultures, what counts as disrespect varies. Eye contact may be a sign of honesty in one culture and rudeness in another. Speaking plainly may be valued in some societies and condemned in others. The Stoic approach. Universals. Don't react based on custom. React based on reason. Don't cling to honor. Cling to character. Don't chase reputation. Pursue wisdom. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." The same applies to respect. He who chases it is always at risk of being disrespected. He who embodies dignity has no need to beg for it. 4. The ego's role in feeling disrespected are the ego. The voice that says, "How dare they talk to me like that?" The ego thrives on roles. I am the boss. I am the elder. I am the expert. And when someone violates these imagined ranks, ego flares. Marcus Aurelius counters with this wisdom. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. This is not passive submission, it is active sovereignty. When you realize the ego is just a mask, you stop defending it, you start living from essence. 5. Training the mind to see disrespect differently. Can you train your mind to turn disrespect into detachment? Absolutely. Pause before reacting. Ask, is this about them or about me? Reflect, what virtue can I practice here? Patience, humility, forgiveness. Release. Let go of needing to be right or to win. This is mental alchemy, turning insult into insight, pain into purpose. In the next part, we will explore how the greatest Stoics actually responded to real-life disrespect and what you can learn from their unshakable example. The Stoic response, practical tools for inner power. So how does the Stoic actually respond when disrespected? Not in theory, but in real daily life. He does not simply tolerate the insult, he transmutes it. Let's explore the tools of the Stoic warrior. 1. Silence. The sharpest reply. When disrespected, the common urge is to defend, to speak louder, to correct, to retaliate. But the Stoic knows. Silence disarms. Seneca said, "He who does not react has conquered the insult." Silence is not weakness, it is control. It says, "You do not define me. You are not worth the disturbance of my peace. Your storm cannot shake my stillness." A calm face, a composed breath, a steady gaze. These are louder than shouting. Try it. The next time someone hurls an insult, pause. Say nothing. Let their anger echo, and then vanish. In that space, you have already won. 2. Journaling, processing without poison. Disrespect often lingers. Even after the moment passes, the sting can remain. This is why the Stoic journals, not to rant, but to reflect. Ask, what was triggered in me? Why did it hurt? What expectation was unmet? How could I respond more virtuously next time? Writing clarifies thought. It reveals patterns. It creates space between stimulus and response. Marcus Aurelius wrote thousands of words to himself, not to impress others, but to improve himself. You can do the same. Every insult is fuel for insight. Use it. 3. Premeditatio. Malorum, the power of anticipation. One of the core Stoic practices is premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. This means imagining in advance what could go wrong. Not to worry, to prepare. Imagine someone mocking your work, a family member disrespecting your boundaries, a stranger being rude in public. Feel the sting. Now rehearse your response. Calm, composed, unmoved. When the moment comes, you won't be surprised. You'll be ready. The Stoic does not fear insult. He rehearses it. He meets it with elegance. 4th reason, the sword of the sage. Above all, the Stoic responds with reason. He asks, what is the wise thing to do? Will reacting change anything? Is this moment worth sacrificing my peace? Often the answer is no. And in that, he is free. Epictetus taught, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. To reason is to reclaim control. No one can force you to feel offended. That is a choice, a reflex perhaps, but still a choice. And every choice is a chance to become better.
Daily Stoic training. Habits that forge strength. Stoicism is not a philosophy meant only for books or quiet contemplation. It is a system of action, a way of living, a set of disciplines forged through practice. The Stoics were not theorists. They were warriors of the inner life. Every day they trained the mind, shaped the soul, and fortified the heart. They prepared for adversity before it struck. They practiced peace in the midst of chaos. They turned insult into insight. So, how do we train like a Stoic? How do we build the strength of character that allows us to meet disrespect, not with anger, but with mastery? Let us step into the daily rituals that forged the minds of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, and discover how we can apply them in our lives. 1. Morning reflection. Begin with purpose. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Marcus Aurelius. Each day begins not with your phone, not with the noise of the world, but with your own mind. The Stoics taught that you must prepare yourself mentally for the challenges ahead. Before you face the world, face yourself. Ask yourself, what virtues do I want to embody today? What kind of person will I be when I am tested? What insults, irritations, or trials might come my way, and how will I meet them? This is not pessimism, it's preparation. It is mental armor. It is Stoic realism, not expecting ease, but being ready for the storm. Write in your journal. Sit in silence. Affirm your inner strength. Begin with intention. 2. Midday pause. Recenter your mind. In the ancient world, Stoics would pause throughout the day to reconnect with their principles. Epictetus advised stepping back and asking, "What is in my control right now?" This practice is even more crucial in our modern, chaotic lives. At midday, take a pause. Close your eyes. Breathe. Ask, have I remained true to my character today? Did I respond to disrespect with wisdom or emotion? Am I being ruled by ego or guided by reason? Even 1 minute of stillness is a reset. This is not weakness, it is command. You do not belong to the rush of the world. You belong to the calm center within. 3. Evening review. Daily self-audit. Seneca recommended that each evening we examine our actions. What bad habit have I conquered today? Where did I act nobly? Where did I fall short? The goal is not self-blame, it is self-mastery. In your journal, reflect, when was I tested? Did I act with virtue or did I react with ego? How will I improve tomorrow? The Stoic keeps no illusions about perfection, but he demands, how will I improve tomorrow? The Stoic keeps no illusions about perfection, but he demands progress. Every insult faced is an opportunity to grow. Every emotional reaction resisted is a mark of strength. 4. Practicing voluntary discomfort. Rehearsal for hardship. Seneca famously practiced sleeping on the floor, eating meager meals, and wearing rough clothes. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to prepare for insult, loss, and hardship. Set aside a certain number of days, he wrote, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, and say to yourself, is this the condition I feared? Modern application? Take cold showers. Walk instead of driving. Fast once a week. Disconnect from comfort. Why? Because when insult or discomfort comes unexpectedly, you have rehearsed it. You have already overcome it. Comfort is the enemy of resilience. 5. Negative visualization. Strength through foresight. The Stoics used a tool called premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils. They imagined what could go wrong. Someone may insult me today. I may be misunderstood. I may lose status, face, or possessions. But they didn't dwell in fear. They rehearsed acceptance. So when the moment came, they were not surprised. They were not broken. They were prepared. Try this. Before a meeting, a conversation, a social interaction, ask, what could happen that might offend my pride? What will I do if it does? Can I remain undisturbed no matter what? This is not pessimism, it is preparation. It is freedom from the need for approval. 6. Mantras and affirmations. Programming the mind. The Stoics repeated truths to themselves daily. It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Create your own affirmations to combat disrespect. I remain still within, even when others rage without. Their disrespect is noise. My virtue is signal. I do not need their validation. I walk with my own integrity. Repeat them, out loud, in your mind, in your journal. Let them become armor. 7. The art of silence. Responding without words. Silence is a Stoic weapon. When others attack you with words, pause. Don't react. Observe. Breathe. Let the insult echo and dissolve. Then ask, does this require a response? Or is silence the stronger answer? Epictetus taught, when someone provokes you, remember that it is not the person who harms you, but your judgment about them. Silence is not weakness, it is sovereignty. And ever. 8. Read and reflect on the Stoics. Make it a daily habit to read even one paragraph of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, or Epictetus. These are not dead voices, they are living guidance. Highlight a quote, reflect on it. Write how it applies to your day. Let the Stoics mentor you through time. Let their wisdom be your compass. 9. Community of virtue. Choose your circle. The Stoics warned against surrounding yourself with the petty, the vain, the cruel. Your circle shapes your soul. Seek those who elevate your character, who respect your silence, who challenge your ego. If you are constantly disrespected by someone, ask, why am I giving them access to my peace? Sometimes the most Stoic act is to walk away. This is the training. This is the path. Not a quick fix, not a motivational slogan, but a daily return to strength, to virtue, to reason. The disrespect of the world will not stop, but your need to react to it can. And in that stillness, you become unshakable.